Good morning, guys. Today is Tuesday, May 12th. I can't stress to you enough, we really need you to, if you're interested in summer school, to fill out that link that I'll attach and I'll send it through Remind, and I'll also be sending it through Teams. Make sure you do that. Also, even if you're not interested in summer school, but you plan on coming back in the fall, they would actually like you to do that because there's a section where it says, do you want to come to summer school? And you say no. And then it says, do you want to come back in fall? And you say yes. And they need everybody to do that because they need to know how many teachers they need in the summer and how many teachers they need in the fall. So please make sure you do that for me. It won't take you very long at all. Also, hey, shout out to some graduates. Woohoo! We had one that passed a little while ago, and I have been told three have sent me their score from yesterday that have passed. So we have four math graduates at the moment, and I know we have more testing tomorrow and next week. So that is awesome. That just shows that it can be done even during online. All right, today we're going to do order of operations. I love teaching order of operations. I wish, like anything, we were in class. I have like little cards that we could play with them and stuff like that, but at the moment we'll just do it this way. If you don't already know this by heart, I would press pause and I'd write all this down and then I'll explain it to you. Okay, so order of operations is sometimes called PEMDAS. And the reason why it's called PEMDAS is parentheses always go first. So you've got to know the order. So parentheses first, that's the P here. Exponents, that's the little 2 or the little 3 or square root. Multiplication and division are next. Now, this is key here. I got a little star by multiplication, division, and addition, subtraction. This is where people mess up. It seems easier than the stuff up here, multiplication and division, but they mess up because they can't remember which one's more important. The problem is when you get to multiplication and division, notice they're written sideways. Some teachers write it PEMDAS. I disagree because multiplication and division are equal to each other. One is not more important than the other. However, it's whichever one you see as you read left to right. So if I see a problem, whichever one I see over here is which I do first. And we're going to see some examples of that in a minute. And then the same rule for addition and subtraction. One is not more important. Just because addition is written first here, it doesn't mean it goes before subtraction. It's once again whichever one I see as I read left to right. Now, some people call it this. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Some people refer to it that way because it stands for these initials and it helps them remember. So if you haven't written that down, stop and write that down. All right, so we're going to start off with this right here. And I'm going to really quick write mine again so I can refer to it. By the way, this will not be on your formula sheet when you go to take the GED. You have to have this memorized. Okay, so we're starting off kind of easy. First thing I need to do is see if I have any parentheses, and I do, 8 plus 7. So I do what's inside the parentheses. 8 plus 7 is 15 divided by 3, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now, I do what's inside parentheses because that's first. 2 times 3, 6. Now I use my exponent. My exponent comes next after I solve my parentheses. 6 squared means 6 times 6, which is 36, minus 7. 36 minus 7 is 21. Now look how the next one is different. The 2, or the square, did not belong to the 3. It belonged to the whole amount inside the parentheses. So you had to do the parentheses first, then square it. Here, this just belongs to the 8. So I'm only squaring 8. So 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64. Now be careful. I did my parentheses. Oh, no, there were no parentheses. I did my exponents. What's next? Multiplication and division. But look what sign is next. So a lot of people go, oh, I need to subtract 64 minus 6. No, 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 no. I need to do multiplication next. Multiplication is before subtraction. So 6 times 10 is 60. And then 64 minus 60 is 4. You see how that you could have gotten a very different answer if you would have said 64. Let's do it. If I would have said 64 minus 6, 64 minus 6 times 10, right? Yeah, times 10. I would have gotten 580. So it's very important we do the order that it's in. Okay, here we go. I've got parentheses, so I need to solve those first. 8 times 9 is 72. 48 divided by 6 is 8. 72 minus 8 is 64. Did I do my math right on that one? I think so. Now, so if you didn't understand this, take a moment, look at it, go back and redo it, and then we're going to get a little bit harder, okay? All right, here. Once again, I'm just going to really quick so we can refer to it. You probably have yours written beside you on your desk. Parentheses first. Well, there are no parentheses. Exponents next. Remember, exponents is also square root. So what's the square root of 144? Well, it's 12. So right now, this is what I have. By the way, I had math teachers in high school that I loved. My favorite was Mr. Ramsey. And if you did not rewrite this, and then go to the next step, and then rewrite it, and then go to the next step, he wouldn't even grade your paper. And he'd call you a dadgum because that's what he called you if you didn't do what he wanted you to do. And he gave me great habits, and I really recommend you don't try to take shortcuts on this. Okay, so now this problem is gone. And now I have a minus and a division. Which one comes first? Well, division comes before subtraction. So I need to do this next. If I do this, I'm going to get a very different answer. So now I'm going to do 12 divided by 3 next. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So now I have 20 minus 4 equals 16. Okay, here I have a couple for you to try. And hey, my gosh, it's waking up. You can try these and then I'll see you back here in a minute. Okay, so hopefully you tried them. Now, remember, I told you it's very important that you follow when you get to multiplication and division. It's not that one is more important. It's which one I see as I read left to right. So if you did this one first, let's just say you did that one first, you would have gotten 6, and then you would have said 12 divided by 6 is 2. And I would have said, you are wrong. Because as I'm down to multiplication and division, and as I read left to right, which one do I see first? I see division. So therefore, as I read left to right, I see division first. I have to do that first. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. Now I times by 2, and I get 8. So for those of you that got 2, you did it out of order. Let's try another one. So if you got 1 here, you should pause and redo it again. I have division and I have multiplication. They're on the same row. So which one do I see as I read left to right? I see division first. So 6 divided by 2 is 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, now another one. This one is a little bit different than, let me go back and see if I can find the one I want to show you. I kind of throw them on the floor when I'm done, so I don't know what I did with that one. Hang tight, I cannot find it. Here we go. Remember, when the exponent's on the outside parentheses, it's for everything. When the exponent is just here by the number. It's not for everything, it's just for this number. So let's see, do I have any parentheses? No. Do I have any exponents? Yes, I need to take care of those first. So 2 to the third power means 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So 2 to the third power is 8. That just takes the place of this. Now I'm still working with parentheses or brackets. They're all in the same area. So I'm going to copy everything else down. All I've done is this step right here. Now, what is 8 plus 8? It's 16. So now I have my parentheses solved. Normally you do parentheses first, unless there's an exponent inside, you have to solve it first, then you go back to parentheses. So now I have 16. I have the times sign, this is another way to write times, minus 9. Now, what comes first, multiplication or subtraction? They're not on the same row, so it's not one of those, which one do I see as I read left to right? Multiplication is clearly above subtraction, so I need to do that first. So 16 times 2 is 32 minus 9. 32 minus 9 should give me 23. All right, moving along. All right, so I'm going to write my, all right, parentheses first, but there's really nothing in the parentheses to solve. Exponents next. So this exponent goes to the negative 3. So what I'm really saying is negative 3 times negative 3. Well, 3 times 3 is 9. 2 negatives at the dance. Remember, everybody's happy, so it's positive. I would rewrite everything. Now I have an addition and I have multiplication. Multiplication is clearly above addition, so I do that next. 4 plus 9 is 13. 4 times 9. Oops, sorry. 4 times 9 is 36 plus the 5 gives me 41. Okay? Now, this one, oof, it's got a lot going on. You have parentheses around the negative 8. It's just showing you that the sign belongs to the 8. Then you have parentheses here, and then you have your exponent on the outside. So bottom line is we need to do what's inside the parentheses first. So 9 plus a negative 8. It really means 9 minus 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. I've got my square here and times 3. Well, what's 1 squared? It means 1 times 1. What's 1 times 1? 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, I have a star by this one. I'm not sure exactly why I thought, oh, I get why I think it's more challenging. Okay, I have no parentheses, so I go down the row. I have exponents, so let's do that. 4 squared is 16. Okay, so now I have 8 minus 5 times 16. Well, hopefully you realize multiplication comes before subtraction. So I was going to take my calculator, but I don't know what I did with it. I had it like 1 second. Okay, here it is. Okay, I'm going to take 16 and I'm going to times it by 5 and I get 80. So I have 80. So I have 8 minus 80. Think about this. Is my answer going to be positive or negative? I only have 8 and I owe 80. I am short. I am short 72. If you had a calculator, you could just say 8 minus 80 and it would give you a negative 72. Okay, all right, so now moving on, we've got this last one down here, negative 4 squared. So I'm going to square 4, but I'm going to square negative 4. So negative 4 times negative 4, 4 times 4 is 16. 2 negatives, everybody's dancing, it's positive. So 16 plus All right, I rewrote it. Now, which one comes next? Multiplication comes before addition. So I'm going to do this first, 30 plus 16, and I'm going to get 46. We are almost done. Okay, this is a challenge one. This has like everything involved. So press stop, try it, and I'll see you back here. Okay, so look how long I've been doing math. Yes, I make lots of mistakes, and that's part of doing it too. But I always write this down. It just helps me. So parentheses, do I have parentheses? Yes, I need to do that first. Don't take shortcuts on this. So I said 8 minus 6 is 2. Look what I'm doing. I'm copying everything else down exactly as it is. If you don't have it looking like that, you might want to press stop. All right, now parentheses are done. I'm looking for exponents. Well, I have a square root. Remember, exponents are both square roots and like this 3 right here. Okay, so the square root of 4 is 2. This only goes to the 2. So 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So I have an 8 inside the parenthesis now times 5. I'm going to write it that way because I need to understand that 5 is multiplied to whatever is here. All right, so I'm done with exponents. Now, do I have any multiplication and division? Ah, yes, I do. Be careful. I have this and I have this. Which one comes first as I read left to right? This one. So the 12 stays the same. 5 times 8 is 40. Divided by 2 will be next. So I did my multiplication first because I saw it first as I read left to right. What is 40 divided by 2? 20 plus 12 is 32. If you didn't get that right, go back and look at it again. And don't be chintzy with your paper. Look how much paper I used for this question. Mr. Ramsey would be very proud of me. Okay, before I forget, let me just say the key word. I'm going to call the keyword is Mr. Ramsey, my favorite math teacher of all times, Mr. Ramsey. Okay, all right, let's do this one and then you're going to do this one. Okay, 3, what I have is when I look at my parentheses, I have my exponents inside my square root. What? Well, what I need to do first is I need to solve. What is 3 squared? It's 9. What is 4 squared? It's 16. Now pretend for a moment this is parentheses. I got to put these together. 9 plus 16 is 25. I just added these two. Now, what's the square root of 25? Oh, sorry. The square root of 25 is 5. That's my final answer. With that being said, look at this nice challenge one for you. Go ahead and do that for me. Press pause. Make sure you press pause and try this. All right. So the 5 we're going to leave alone. We're not going to mess with it. And we're going to start solving. I need to do this right here first. I need to take care of the exponent. It's 25. Now, be careful. I'm going to rewrite this. This is why I was saying be careful. Look, I have a minus, a times, and a times. Which comes first? Multiplication. So I'm not going to say 25 minus 4, but that's what most people do. No. I'm going to say 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So I'm going to have 25 minus 16. If you take this right here and you solve it, you get 16 all over 3. So I still have 5 plus, and then 25 minus 16 is 9. So I need to get the square root of 9 over 3. Well, the square root of 9 is 3 over 3. 3 over 3, I kind of went through that fast. The square root of 9, what times what gives me 9? 3. Divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so 5 plus 1 is 6. I think, guys, that's all I made for you. I'm looking to see if I have another hidden sheet. Nope. Okay, go through this, practice it. This is very key for the GED. I'll see you tomorrow.